All right, how we doing, guys? This is Brandon. With join. Hold on. What kind of? I will be over there in a minute. Please, can you give me a few minutes? No, I can't do it over there because you're going to keep touching the computer. All right, let's try that again. This was a disaster yesterday when we tried to do it, so this is going to be interesting.
I got a good charge out of it, though.
All right, welcome to the Marvel Madness podcast, guys. I am Brandon. I'm joined by co-hosts Carl and Trevitt. How we doing today, guys?
Doing good today.
Yeah, pretty damn good. Just had some potato salad.
Sorry, go. You get potato salad. I was gonna say I always stumble when I get started there. I'm like, how are you two doing today, guy? You know, I never know really what to say. To let everyone know you're also here, and I'm not talking to myself. But this is episode 2 of Marvel Madness here. You can find us on Podbean and probably all the other fellow podcast catchers out there at this point. What our goal, again, our mission statement, we bring you guys 3 to 4 books each and every week. Give you a quick glimpse into the Marvel comic book universe, keeping you up to date on some of the latest news and things going on in the titles. As far as Marvel comic books go, we don't really touch on the movies. This is a comic book centric thing here. So what we do is we split it up. There's 3 of us. We split it up into 1 book from each category. We have Spider Family, which is my responsibility, which is Carl's responsibility, and the Inhuman and X-Men family, which is Trevitt's responsibility. So that's how we're going to divide the books up each week and introduce them to you. So starting things off on the hero side of things first, we will be doing... what's your book again, Carl?
I've got Rocket #1.
You got Rocket. Trevitt for Inhumans and X-Men. You got
Secret Warriors #1.
Yeah, which is basically an Inhuman-centric title. Yeah. And then for events this week, we got Renew Your Vows, #7. So I'm usually the outlier here. You guys seem to be covering the new stuff, and I'm the one throwing people into
issue
8s, issue 17s. Yeah, like join me on this journey I've been on for 2 years. So I don't. So anyway, with that being said, if you guys are looking to get a hold of us at all, share some thoughts, some nonsense, whatever's on your marvelous mind, you can reach us at marvelmadness@gmail.com.
Marvel Madness.
You can find us on Twitter. marvelmadnesspod@gmail.com. I always forget that pod part. You can find us on Twitter at marvelmadness1, where Carl will take care of any nonsense going on over on that end. Or you can hunt down the comments section on Podbean over at the Marvel Madness Podbean page. So with that being said, let's get into things here with our second episode. With some brief news and notes about the 616 or Prime Earth or whatever the hell they're calling it now. Some thoughts around on the books we're going to cover, which we mentioned just a second ago. Trevitt is our news guy. So Trevitt, why don't you tell us what we found out this week going on in Marvel Comics?
All right, I got 3 news stories. The first one is John Boy Myers was replaced on Royals by Tony Silas. I'm assuming it's Tony. It's spelled with an H. I've never seen Tony spelled with an H. I'm really sad. Weird. Yeah, it is weird, right? I'm really sad to see
Marvel has a lot of foreign artists. It's probably maybe a European thing.
Yeah, they do. They really do have a lot of foreign artists with the really hard to pronounce names. It's unfair. But I'm sad to see. Yeah, it does. Well, I'm sad to see Myers go. I checked out Silas's art online, and it looks like a good fit. It looks like right in the same vein as John Boy Myers type style. I mean, can this guy just like, can he stay on a book? I mean, he gets tossed off Teen Titans and
Yeah, I don't
over
know if he
dispute.
gets tossed off or if he leaves. Like, I don't understand
Yeah,
what
I know
the deal is.
he left Teen Titans because of a disagreement on the story, and this one I just don't think he can keep up with the schedule bi-weekly because the last
Yeah.
issue just looked kind of shoddy. But
Yeah, I know. I don't understand why he left a bi-weekly book, probably because he couldn't keep up with the schedule, to go to just another bi-weekly book where it looks like the same thing's happening, which is weird.
yeah, it is weird.
But I mean, his art's awesome when he does, Teen Titans was awesome. And the covers, I didn't open up the actual issues of Royals since you didn't make me read them.
Yeah.
But the covers look super sweet.
Yeah, the covers look sweet, and the first issue looked great, but the second, it was like one panel would look great, and like two panels would look like crap. Like just really, really bad. Not as detailed as his shit usually is. But after that, I got another story about Scarlet Spider is going back to his original costume after issue number 3 because of fan outcry. Like everybody just didn't like the mouth on the costume and wanted the original one back.
I hate, like, it's the Red Hood. Yeah, it's the Red Hood effect for me. Like when they start throwing a mouth on like, I know Spider-Man's a cloth mask, so you should be able to see, at least maybe an outline at times, but
it's still
I can't stand when they use it to display emotion, it looks weird.
It is off-putting. It is really off-putting. It's strange, very strange.
It looks too gimpy. You know what I'm saying? It looks.
Yeah. Even Peter David was kind of like flabbergasted about like why people wanted to change because he's like, who cares? But he's like, at the same time, he's like, it's about Ben Reilly. It's not about the costume. He's like, so who gives a shit? We'll just change it.
Yeah.
You seemed a little bummed
he's
out
old
about
though
it.
now. He's getting old though now. So he's got to, he doesn't know what the kids want all the time.
Yeah. And then my third and final news for this week is that Black Panther and the Crew is canceled after just 2 issues. I mean, that's quite an abrupt end. It's going to continue for 4 more issues, so it could round out a trade paperback, but then it's gone forever. It's done. I mean,
yeah.
I've read the first issue. It is a little boring. I did like the idea of it, but even the art kind of makes it a little boring. Like I like Butch Geist, but it's something about like, I don't know. It's just it didn't grab me right away, but I'm willing to sit through it and see if it gets better because it's 2 issues in and we've barely seen Black Panther yet, and it's called Black Panther and the Crew.
It seems like it's more like Misty Knight and the Crew right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm not a huge I'm not a huge proponent of the Black Panther series right now. It's just like not my like a political thriller type thing, and I'm just not really into it. But the art looks gorgeous, like Brian Stelfreeze and stuff. So
yeah, that's great. And Chris Sprouse.
It's not crazy like that. You know how it's kind of got like that crazy, just colorful feel, and it's totally different in like kind of a noirish book like The Crew.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have like, it's 2 totally different paths for Black Panther. And, you like one or the other, you're splitting the fan base basically. Yeah.
There's a very stark contrast between the 2 books because it's like kind of like Black Panther's kind of like a Game of Thrones, like set in Africa, like kind of and it does. It's like a political thriller at the same time. It's a crazy. I really like that book, but this I just not too crazy about it.
I wonder if they canceled it after what's it going to be 6 issues total.
Yeah, but I mean they made the decision.
They don't want to ruin the hype for the movie coming out in February.
I guess, yeah.
Like the book wasn't.
Yeah, February's a long way away though.
I want to see the sales to know, like after the 2nd issue, like how bad were they? Was it like 18,000 for issue number 1 or something? Like
if you go to that Comic-Con website or whatever, comiccron.com or .org or whatever it is, they usually show you the numbers. I don't know if they're out yet for that first issue, even though.
Yeah, I don't know. It must have been bad.
Yeah, I'm not a big I'm not a big number geek. I just like following the books I follow, and I get kind of pissed off when they're canceled. That's all.
Yeah, me too.
I just buy them blindly, and
I mean,
pay attention to.
I've seen a bunch of books get canceled lately, most after like 12 issues, 8 to 10 issues, but I've never I don't know if I've noticed anything that's gotten canceled like within the release of its second issue. Like that's a sharp call right there. Like that was quick. What happened?
Yeah. Would you have one more?
No, that's it. That's all the news I got for this week. Everything else was pretty friggin' boring besides that.
Yeah, it was. I like to, sometimes when I'm on a little break from work, I'll pop on Bleeding Cool, see like what drama they're stirring up for the week, and it's been kind of boring the last couple of weeks, to be honest with you.
It really has. I got Google.
And I'm sick of the Secret Empire outrage articles. I can't read another one.
I can't. I skip right by them. Oh God.
Yeah, that's like you people are shouting at the moon here, and it's not responding back to you. So stop, will you? So with that being said, that'll wrap up our news section, and we're going to get into the books here, and we're going to kick it off with, what do we agree on? The hero,
Rocket #1.
Yeah, we're going to kick things off with our hero area and Rocket #1, and Carl is going to take the lead here. I'm going to be relatively silent because I kind of visually read this issue. If you get what I'm saying, So
I get what you're saying.
I just read it.
I just had a really hard time with it, and you guys will discover why later on when we give our ratings here. But go ahead. Why don't you take it? Explain what's going down here with Rocket Raccoon, or not Rocket Raccoon? Rocket. Right?
So we've got
just Rocket
#1. Writer is Al Ewing.
Here we go.
Artist is Adam Gorham. Colorist is Michael Garland, and letterer is Jeff Eckelberry. So this book is very much set up to be like a crime drama. Even with the lettering on the side, so you get basically Rocket's inner monologue in one side of the page, and then you get pictures on the other, and it's all written in prose form. So I can understand why it's hard to read for a lot of people, but this style kind of caught my interest.
Like you guys are, so I'm going to jump in real quick because you guys are more like the independent comic book readers. You'll read the crime stuff, the Brubaker stuff, and not that I don't enjoy it, but that's just not what I buy. So off the bat, when I see this, I'm like, oh, God damn it. That was just my first reaction. I'm like, I don't know how to read this right away. So I trying to squeeze it in before bed. And I'm like, I don't have the energy to figure it out right now. You know what I'm saying?
I get that. I felt kind of at home when I opened it up because I'm used to it,
Yeah.
It got me right away.
Felt like Scott Snyder and Jeff Lemire's After Death, the way it was written, it's a little bit different when it comes to paneling, because they had one full page of prose, and then you flip to the next page and you get like just one full page of the watercolor art.
Yeah, Killer Be Killed does that too.
Got it set up like
this. Who's writing this book? Is it Al Ewing?
Al Ewing? I don't
Ewing.
know much from this writer, but it's very Scott Snyder-ish for the entire thing.
He writes Ultimates. He's wrote the Ultimates the last couple of years, and I've liked the Ultimates, but it's nothing like, which is also what took me by surprise a little bit. But I'll stop talking now, and you can go ahead.
But I mean, once you get past like the first 2 pages, which is basically just inner monologue, you see Rocket sitting at a bar, wallowing in his sorrows of his past, and then in walks in the girl who ruined his life, which is Ada, and she has a job for him to save her home, and all he has to do is steal the deed to the home to her river, because on her planet, ownership is literally hold the deed. If you hold the deed for where it is, you own that area, and they're trying to build dams, which will ruin the home life that she has. And Rocket's like, no, fuck you. And then she says one thing to him, which was please, after basically trying to convince him using Rocket's ways. All she said was please, and he jumps right into it, and he goes to collect the Technits team, which is kind of broken down. Used to be like 10, 12 members, and now it's broken down to 4 left. And they go to break into this highly secured vault to get this deed. And the plan that they have set up was amazing. You got
why is this deed in do they mention why the deed's in a highly secure vault or anything? Like what's so special
I didn't
about
see
this
why
particular
where they
deed?
said why it's in this vault. She just said it's in the vault. It's Rocket. He's got to break into something. And
yeah, they never explain why it is. But it doesn't really have to, actually, like the way the story works.
Right. Yeah,
they never explain it, but I just
like a deed's just a piece of paper, right?
Yeah, that's all it is.
it's just a piece of paper.
It's like a maybe it could be laminated.
A piece of paper. It's in this highly secure vault. But it's Rocket, so he's got to be able to break into it, and he can crack any safe he can get his hands on.
Yeah, is that highly sensitive?
So he comes up with this plan. The outside of the vault is set up with bouncers, and he knows that the way to get the bouncers is to overheat the system. So he
I found that part.
knows that they're doing it the cheap way, which is by using the river water. So he has Otter go set a bomb in the intake valve and blows that up so it can no longer take in the cold water to cool its systems. Makes it overheat, causes the malfunction. They get in, and they go fight these guards, and you see it's like 4 guys in an egg, and they use the egg to blow up the vault, and it's this chicken, which I thought was probably the funniest part in the book is when the chicken.
It was so ridiculous. It was hilarious.
Chicken's got a clock on its head.
Yeah,
blow out
I think it is a bomb.
It's a bomb, chicken bomb. Rolls it in there, blows up, and then the vault door is still on there. And Rocket's like, wait for it, and then the vault door just falls off. Impenetrable vault that cannot be taken out by any known explosive, so they use an unknown explosive to take it out, and that unknown explosive is a chicken in an egg. So they get in.
And he's still alive, too. That's the crazy
They get
part.
in. This is the part that I'm confused about. So they get in, they blow the vault. Yeah, he's still alive. But what I don't understand is they get in, they break open the vault, and they want to make Rocket the new leader of the Technits. Were the rest of the Technits inside the vault?
Yeah,
they know about the heist going on and already beat them to it. Because at the next page you have them in this. You see the smoke clear, and you see the rest of the Technits saying there's already, that title's already been taken. And I don't know, because they haven't actually got they haven't done anything but blow up the vault. They haven't got the deed yet. So I don't know if they were inside the vault or if they were, just followed them there. But that's my biggest gripe about the book is I don't know how you go from one panel to the next.
Yeah, it looks like they were in the vault to me, just glancing through things.
Yeah, it does look like they were in the vault.
It looks like they were in the vault to me, glancing through things.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing too. But why were they in the vault? Like that whole part makes no sense. And I guess we're going to talk about it in the next issue, which is Rocket Runs Forever.
Nobody runs forever.
Nobody runs forever. Like, yeah. I don't know, this book, it was interesting. Like I was talking to you guys in the chat earlier, like this whole book was interesting to me up until that last panel, the last page where I found myself confused. The rest of it I was able to follow pretty easily. It was a really quick read. If it wasn't for the prose, it would have been like a 2-second done. Without having Rocket's monologue in there, it would have been really, really, really quick. And I think that's why I liked it most, is because it kept the story interesting and moving, and it's like a story within a story.
So this would be a buy for you?
Yeah, this is a buy for me. I mean, outside of that one panel, this whole book, I've found myself completely engrossed in it. Like I said, it's very much a Scott Snyder-esque style type book, which I enjoy because I love Scott Snyder as a writer. So, you know, anybody who emulates him and can do it well, you know, has gotten my interest right off the bat. So yeah, this is a buy for me. Trevitt, what do you think?
I really enjoyed it. I keep hearing a loop in the background, like after
I know,
someone
I do
talks.
too. I don't know where it's
Yeah,
coming from.
it's driving me nuts. But I really enjoyed it. I like how it started off. I like the prose on the left side. I'm used to that. That they have the same thing going on in Kill or Be Killed right now. I enjoyed the art. I thought the art was really good. Even Rocket's like facial expressions. And I enjoyed the little side love story that led into this. You know, I just felt bad for Rocket. Like this girl is like suckering him again somehow. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I get
Yeah,
that. I
the
get that
male
story
point
within a
of
story
view.
thing. Yeah, the male point of view. And I think it's funny, like an otter named Otta. Like, come on. Oh, is she the only one of her kind? Like on the nose. Like but yeah, it was pretty cool. I didn't mind the ending where they show up because you know it's going to be explained in the next issue. It is kind of weird how they like kind of already in the safe. What are they, a security measure, or are they there to rob it too? But how would they know about it? Because Rocket brought the plan to them. Like I don't know how they're going to explain that. Well, I guess we'll see. The little splinter group. But I would say it's a borrow for me. Like it's not something that I would go out and buy. I did enjoy reading it, and I'll probably definitely check out the next issue because I want to see what happens with these guys. I mean, because if he does that well, then it could be a good series. But if he botches that and doesn't give me a good explanation of why these guys are in the safe, then forget about it. So it's a borrow.
Yeah. See, I don't know if my opinion can be trusted too much. I didn't read all the way through it. I flipped through it a few times just because I read All-Star Batman already this week. So I read my book that felt like or my comic book that felt like a book quota. And then when I saw another one, I'm like, yeah, I'm good. So I did enjoy the art. But I haven't bought a Rocket series and like been invested in a Rocket series since Scotty Young was on it. Like he's kind of a character that unless somebody that really will grab my attention is on the book, I'm not going to pay it much attention myself. So Al Ewing, while decent, isn't somebody that's getting me to pony up $3.99 for a Rocket solo title. So it would probably be a forget it all altogether for me. But I did like the art. There are things to like in it, but I don't know how long it's going to last. I give it 6 issues, I guess.
Wasn't there a Rocket series before this too? I mean, I know
Yeah,
they all
Yeah,
had
it just ended. It just
limited
ended.
mini
Yeah,
just ended. Yeah, for the grounded series.
I don't know.
I read a story about that, like how they just did the series and then they rebooted again. I forget who did it.
And
It
there
like
was one
Bleeding
right
Cool or
before
something.
that.
Yeah,
and there was
yeah.
another one before that. There's been like 5 Rocket series in the last 2 years. So it's just I don't know.
I did like the whole like
That makes it
heist
hard to
feel
invest.
to it.
Yeah.
The heist feel is kind of cool. Like they took a book like a Guardians of the Galaxy type of side book, and instead of making it like this cosmic feel, like with these like huge universal or galaxy consequences, it's just like a heist story in space, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll move on there. We touched the entire spectrum there. One buy, one borrow, one forget. So we'll move on to our second book here, which is going to be from the Spider family, and that's going to be Renew Your Vows, number 7. Before we get started on this one, Trevitt, you read this series, right?
Renew Your Vows. Yes. I
Yeah.
love this series. This is like my favorite Spider-Man series.
Yeah. I tell everybody about this one. Carl, do you read this at all, or is this your first issue?
This is my first issue. I read it Thursday when I got it, and then I now have issues 1 through 6 in my download list because it was interesting. It was different than what I expected it to be.
Yeah, it's a fun Elseworlds title. So it doesn't, if you're new to the book, it doesn't take place in regular Marvel canon, not in the regular Marvel universe. It's in a Elseworlds tale where Spider-Man and Mary Jane marriage was never, annulled by Mephisto. And they have a daughter, Annie Mae, who is also has speeder powers. They've developed a tech suit for Mary Jane so she can siphon off Peter's power at certain points and get power boosts and stuff. And she has web shooters and shit like that. So it's a fun book. And last issue, they went to X Mansion, invited by Professor X and the X-Men to scope out the grounds and check out things for their daughter with the potential to send her there. They kind of got separated in a couple different groups, with Annie going off with Gray's daughter named Shine, Peter going off with Wolverine, and Mary Jane going off with Cyclops. So they're kind of all over the school in different areas when Brotherhood end up attacking towards the end of the issue. So we pick up events of issue 7 straight off of the Magneto attack, and really nobody is aware of what's going on, and they're being taken by surprise, except Spider-Man. He does kind of have some defense measures in place in case something like this were to happen. Combined with Wolverine's healing factor, they're able to fight off one of the mutants in their area named Mistress. She's made up for this story. I'm pretty sure she's not anybody I'm aware of ever.
I've never.
But yeah, she gets handled by Spider-Man and Wolverine, and they go storming through the school to find their daughters, who they suspect are in danger. We flash to Mary Jane and Cyclops walking through the school grounds, kind of having a debate and giving you some background info on where Cyclops stands in this universe. When they run into Blob, over to Cerebro, where we see Magneto isn't in on this alone. He's got some help from the White Queen, Emma Frost, who's going to end up fucking up his plans in the end, because she's always on a quest for power at all expenses. And then most of really the second middle act of the book is just like beautiful art pages. It
Beautiful action scene.
reads really quick. Yeah, it's just like action scene after action scene with Wolverine or various X-Men taking on kind of the foes in the different areas of the school they've run into, on their march to find their daughters and get these dudes out of here. If you've been following along the book, Stegman, he's done all the issues but one, I think.
Yeah.
And I love the art personally. Like my one complaint of the current Spider-Man run is like the art is so dark. Even though I love, Amonum's character drawings and shit like that. Like this is what I'm talking about when I talk about like a Spider-Man book with, and not like shaded in darkness all the time. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a lot more enjoyable to flip through and look at, especially multiple times. You got to figure out what's going on, and explain it. Kind of the pivotal moment towards the end of the book is when Peter and Mary Jane's daughter, along with Wolverine and Jean's gray daughter, so Annie and Shine, are talking to Jubilee, who's turned on the X-Men in this universe and joined the Brotherhood. And it's kind of like, a good girl talk between them where Jubilee's trying to dismiss their points because they're kids. While they're telling her, how could you turn your back on your family and blah, 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 that whole debate going back and forth. The girls end up escaping thanks to Shine and a quick display of powers, which was pretty cool. I'm not really clear on what this little girl's powers
Neither am I.
entirely are.
Just like projects light.
Yeah. Yeah, like she looks like she's in pain in the top panel almost when she's crying, doesn't she? I'm like, oh no, what happened to her? Because she was getting mad, like telling Jubilee that she was wrong.
Yeah, I think she
flash of
was
light.
crying.
Yeah, like it's probably like you know, the whole mutant thing. Like you can't really control your powers if your emotions are out of control. You know, like
Yeah.
that whole thing going on. So it kind of blinds the room. Like obviously shine. So this giant shine goes off in the room, blinding everybody, and the girls escape through a vent in Cerebro.
So does it
I don't
blind
know.
everybody but Annie Mae and
Well,
Shine?
and he's got goggles on. None of the other people have goggles on, so I don't know if that helps.
Yeah, and it probably
You
doesn't
know?
hurt Katie
And the
because
powers,
it's her
the
power.
powers coming from
Yeah.
Shine.
It doesn't hurt her because it's her power,
But like if you also look in the panel, Annie's also kind of like behind her.
Yeah.
She's not like in front of her.
And this art is incredible.
but the blast
it
goes
is.
throughout the entire room. Wouldn't it affect everybody in the room? Wouldn't Annie be, blinded too?
Well, she's directing. I don't know. I guess she's directing her flash.
Yeah.
You know,
And she's
whatever.
next to her or like standing behind her,
like a
and she has the
4-year-old
goggles
girl.
on.
They use the 4-year-old girl to get out of the room, and Jubilee gives chase. She ends up running into Peter and Wolverine. Sending some of her hand fireworks in their direction out of the vent, and kind of saves her dad and Wolverine's butt there. They give Jubilee a come to Jesus moment there as she kind of realizes she's been wrong, and then goes and attacks Magneto. And at this point is where you pick up that Magneto is being controlled by Emma, and this is like the continuity problem you would have, where Magneto's not supposed to be mind fucked with when he's got his helmet on, but it's happening. Yeah, so Emma's got him under control, and the room looks like, it's going to come down. Peter's trying to get his family out of there to, save them. He's saying he's going to take care of this problem when, while he's arguing with Annie about it, Mary Jane just handles Magneto and Emma with a couple nice punches, and hollers up at the family like, yeah, it's all taken care of, guys, no problem. Because Peter's like, he's like, why is my power going away?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a funny moment. He's like, oh shit, I feel my power being drained. Your mother's doing something. And then the Brotherhood gets hauled off by S.H.I.E.L.D. They discuss whether Annie's going to go to school there. They don't really give you an answer. So maybe this keeps the door open for these X-Men to pop in again.
I hope so.
In the future, yeah, because it's straight up X-Men costumes, just with a little different flavor to the relationships going around. So, to anybody who watched that cartoon or has a Spider-Man Mary Jane thing going on, these 2 issues are definitely something to check out and enjoy. It's a fun, just 2-issue arc, not a huge investment. But yeah, this is a buy all the way through for me. And then they give you a little tease on the last page at the end. It is going to be kind of the next story arc, with the whole Osborn Corp run by the little son kind of getting in the mix of things. Yeah. So yeah, it's a buy all the way for me. I don't know. There's not enough good I can say about it. I love the art. I love the just fun, cool stories. That I didn't enjoy the Mole Man one as much, but ever since the one shot and then this 2-issue X-Men arc, like I'm 100% back on board with this title. I enjoy it.
Oh yeah,
a lot. I gave it like an 8.5 on the Weird Science review site, run by Jim and Eric. So, yeah, I love it. It's a buy for me. What about you guys?
I love it too. I love this book. I mean, the art is fantastic. Except for that, I mean, there was that one issue that Stegman wasn't on it. I mean, it was okay,
Yeah.
but this whole series has been great. Stegman's art is incredible. It's so detailed, like it's perfect all the way through. Like he doesn't have like these like little lull moments like where you see a panel that just looks like crap. Like everything looks amazing. I love
the 3rd page with Wolverine and Spider-Man, like the splash page of them running through the hall.
That looks great. Like everything
Oh,
looks great.
literally looks like it's coming off the page at you. It's sweet.
And this book and this issue has everything you need from a comic. It has every kind of moment you can imagine. It has funny moments. It has serious moments. It has sad moments. It has tons of action. Like just this one issue is like a whole adventure. Like it's totally worth your $4. Like this is definitely a buy. I say buy it all. Buy every friggin' Renew Your Vows issue and get the Dan Slott, Adam Kubert one before it, which fills in all the questions you might have about why Mary Jane has this suit that can draw on Peter's powers. But it's just amazing. This issue is great. It gives me that 90s X-Men feel, which I fucking love. It's amazing. I love it. Buy it now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good one. What about you, Carl? Anything that we didn't say about this book that you would
I don't have anything bad to say about this book. It is a buy. Like I said at the very beginning of talking about this, I went back and added the rest of the series to my download pull list. So I'm going to go ahead and get through 1 through 6 probably this week, so I can be caught up. Like the whole story caught me dragged in, and then you get to the end with that little cliffhanger with the symbiote. I am like all into this book, and I had no interest of reading it when it first came out. So, this definitely
buy.
Yeah.
All right, so that might be. I don't know. Well, go ahead, man. Sorry.
I said all the action scenes for throughout the middle of that book, man. This art,
is
just phenomenal.
Yeah, that you could like paste them throughout your house, and your wife probably wouldn't argue with you too much.
No, she wouldn't.
She might let you get away with one, but she'd be like, "All right, this is nice and all, but not all of them." So anyway, we're gonna take a quick break here. We're gonna get back to you guys with some midpoint marvelous facts as we've hit the midway point of our episode. We're gonna give you some inside scoops on Rocket Raccoon and the Secret Warriors this week. Because everybody already knows all about Spider-Man, and we just gushed about that for probably 20-25 minutes there for you guys. So we're going to take a quick break here, and we'll be right back with the Midpoint Marvelous Facts and Secret Warriors #1. So let me get I like to stop